My memory is fine. The president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate. A solid meeting with and Mitterrand from Germany, from France, looked at me and said,
elderly man with a poor memory.
I said, I'm going to be a president for everybody, whether you live in a red state or a green state. Anyway, I don't want to.
Making Roe v. Word.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to. Anyway, Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. $159 billion left. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to what am I doing here? 1, 2.
A well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
An NBC poll taken before any of the most recent moments found more than 3/4 of voters have major or moderate concerns about Biden's mental and physical fitness. That includes 54% of Democrats.
And it just got a whole lot worse. The Wall Street Journal drops a bombshell on Biden's already fledgling campaign. We're going to see the latest reports on just how badly Biden is slipping behind the scenes, and we're going to venture out as to why now the legacy media is exposing Biden. You are not going to want to miss this. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, I want you to stop putting off what you know you need to do. If you have not already secured the deed to your home as of yet, you need to click on that link below right now and protect yourself and your loved ones. I was shocked when I found out how easy it is to access the deed to my house, and not just access it, gang, but actually change it. The deed to your home is the only document that proves you own it. But the problem is that the deeds to all our homes are now online, and they're totally vulnerable. Criminals are free to find your deed, forge your signature, refile as the new owner of your home, take out tons of loans using your home's equity, and then they stick you with all the debt. It is a nightmare. But that's where our good friends over at Home Title Lock come in. Gang, they're amazing. Home Title Lock gives you the peace of mind 24/7 that the deed to your home is absolutely and completely protected. Click on that link below right now. Use promo code TurleyTalks, and all you got to do is enter your address for your no-obligation home title scan to see if you've already been a victim of deed theft. It's a $100 value, absolutely, totally free with my promo code Turley Talks. Gang, don't wait for the worst to happen only to regret that you didn't do something about it when you could have. Do what I've done. Do what countless patriots have done. Right now, click on that link below and secure your home today. For the last 3.5 years, we've, of course, all had the unfortunate experience of seeing Joe Biden's painfully obvious cognitive decline getting worse and worse right before our very eyes. Some have even called it elder abuse. But now a new report from a major legacy media outlet is sending shockwaves through the campaign. The Wall Street Journal has just exposed even more troubling concerns about Biden behind closed doors that threatens to implode his already fledgling campaign. As it turns out, according to the report, his public brain breaks and confusion are even worse behind the scenes. Aides and lawmakers, speaking anonymously, of course, have confirmed that they are deeply concerned that Biden's cognitive decline is now getting, frankly, dangerous, which, of course, blows apart the White House claim that somehow Biden is different behind the scenes than he is bumbling in public. When all is said and done, according to the report, behind the scenes, Biden is even worse. The drugs have worn off, and it's not a pretty picture. Here's an excerpt from the article. Quote, when President Biden met with congressional leaders in the West Wing in January to negotiate a Ukraine funding deal, he spoke so softly at times that some participants struggled to hear him. This according to 5 people familiar with the meeting. He read from notes to make obvious points, pause for extended periods, and sometimes closed his eyes for so long that some in the room wondered whether he had tuned out, which is a nice way of saying he was sleeping. And it just gets worse from there. There are numerous reports on numerous occasions of Biden having significant memory slips, of not really knowing where he was, of having personality changes. In other words, the commander-in-chief has dementia. He's in the process of significant cognitive decline, the significance of which the White House has been able to, at least in part, hide by virtue of pumping him up with drugs when he makes public appearances. But behind the scenes, when the drugs have worn off, there's no hiding it. Now, there are at least two takeaways from this report. This is very interesting. First and foremost, it underscores precisely what we've been predicting on this channel for months now. Biden's cognitive decline is his ultimate Achilles heel. It's not the economy. It's not inflation. It's not the southern border or the violent crime epidemic or the threat of nuclear war. Make no mistake, those are all bad enough. No question. They are at least formally the single most important issues of this campaign. All the polls show that. But there's an underlying subtext to all of those issues. And that's Biden's painfully obvious degenerative senility. This is Biden's ultimate Achilles heel. And the reason for that is very simple. Everything else can change. Everything else can reverse itself. The economy can change. His border policies can change, which, of course, even now he's desperately trying to convince the country that his ridiculously pathetic executive order regarding the southern border is working, whatever. Everything else can change. His foreign policy can reverse itself. Inflation can reverse itself. Every single issue can be reversed. It can be, at least theoretically, rectified, except his senility. His age and senility are the only things in this campaign that have no possibility of reversing themselves. This is his Achilles heel. This is what has Democrats totally freaking out. They know voters are not going to reelect a president they believe is not cognitively fit for the job. They know that. They know if most voters believe Biden has dementia, he's not getting reelected. It's that simple. Now you know why they're doing everything they possibly can to keep the Robert Hur tapes out of the public arena. They're obviously devastating. Hur determined that Biden was too cognitively deficient to stand trial, and the tapes prove it. And so the weaponized DOJ, which is supposed to be independent of the White House, is deliberately hiding them from you. But again, in the end, no one's hiding anything. Everyone sees that Biden is cognitively degenerating. So that's the first takeaway. The second takeaway is how this report represents a stunning turnaround among the legacy media. Granted, the Wall Street Journal is nowhere near as anti-Trump as MSNBC or CNN or ABC. No question. But they've never been fans of Trump. And they've even been rather sympathetic towards Biden, even on the age issue. If you want a sense of the tortured ends the legacy media has been willing to go on Biden's age, just take a look at this headline from the LA Times. I mean, look at that. It actually tried to make the argument that Biden's age was his superpower. I mean, this is a real headline. This is not from the Babylon Bee, gang. This is a real headline from the legacy media outlet, the LA Times. And they're actively trying to gaslight you there into believing that Biden's age and senility are actually his superpowers. Note how brazen that is. It's his freaking superpower. Well, with this breaking story this morning from the Wall Street Journal, we're seeing that something is going on here inside the legacy media. They're having a change of heart when it comes to Biden. At least some of them are. They're now openly exposing what's really going on behind closed doors in terms of his worsening condition. We have to ask why. Why is the legacy media, at least in the guise of the Wall Street Journal this morning, suddenly turning on Biden as evidenced by this story? I think we need look no further than this.
Is it actually just too soon to know what the impact of this verdict really is on the 2024 presidential outcome?
No, it's soon enough to know that it's not going to significantly alter the results at this moment. then in fact the two presidential debates are going to be more important, that the gains that Trump had made among union members, Hispanics, young African American men are significant and they're holding, that Biden's gains among middle-aged female suburban voters, those are holding. And basically this feels more like World War I. That is just simply a ground game. It's a war of attrition. And there simply isn't that big dramatic event that most people had expected if Donald Trump was and has been found guilty on all charges. And that's what I need to emphasize. The assumption was 90 days ago that if Donald Trump was found guilty, the bottom would drop out of his support. And that has not happened. He has weakened. People have started to reconsider whether or not they support him. But there's been no dramatic shift. And that in itself is a very big story.
So there you have it. The Wall Street Journal's cutting the bait. They're abandoning ship. Pick your metaphor, right? It's now nearly a week after that sham verdict in Manhattan, and there's been no major movement whatsoever in the polls. But there has been a massive movement among the billionaire class towards Trump ever since the verdict, and there, I would argue, you've got some rationale for this change of heart. Billionaires are starting to flock to their fellow billionaire Trump, realizing that this sham weaponization of the law can be just as easily used against them. And so this is a matter of survival for them. And I think the powers that be at the Wall Street Journal are thinking the same way. They're seeing no change whatsoever among voters' attitudes. The sham verdict was a dud. It did nothing to move the needle in terms of public support one way or the other. And at the same time, they're seeing the planetary power brokers, right? The billionaires all moving towards Trump. And so it looks like the Wall Street Journal is cutting bait and throwing their lot in with the billionaires. And they're doing it by breaking the code among the legacy media not to expose Biden's dementia and thereby exploit his Achilles heel. So let's just say when it comes to this already crazy campaign, as of this morning, things just got a whole lot crazier. Here's your opportunity to tell big tech tyrants where they can stick it. Click on that link below and download our brand new cancel-proof Turley Talks app, and you can sign our special declaration of restoration. That's our petition to big tech that declares a new day is dawned. They are no longer in control, and we are taking our nation back. We've already got over 1,000 signatures of courageous patriots, and yours is next. Click on that link below or go to fight.turleytalks.com right now.